It's like it's a hard plastic, so it's not like a hose fitting or something. It's more of like a grommet, maybe from a tarp. Is it metal? I think it's plastic, but pretty interesting. Gotta go round up the fourth kid for bath time. Hey, Darth Vader, are you taking a bath? Come here. Give me your best Imperial March. Come here. Whoa, that cape's really flying. Let me see your mean guy face. Serious Darth Vader face. No, Darth Vader doesn't smile. Don't smile. Whoa, that was a scary face. No, no. Say, can you say, join the dark side? No, never.
See you later. May the force be with you.
So I thought I'd do a little update video on the garden, since I just showed that image of the little video of the carrot with the grommet that it grew around. Here's the garden. So we built 12 of these big planter boxes. Got some nice soil, put the soil in, planted stuff, and here we go. Still haven't used all of them. We just put this greenhouse out here. It's more like I guess you could call it a hot house. Not sure what we're going to use it for yet, but so all of our boxes, to keep gophers out, we did the square wire mesh. It's not a chicken mesh, I don't know what it's really called. And then on top of that, we did like the plastic or fabric weed barrier stuff. So we put the weed barrier, put that down, and we did little staples around the perimeter of each to hold it in place. And if you look at it, I'll show you guys. You can see where the gopher mounds are. Last year with the garden, we had so many gophers that we could barely grow anything because they killed all the corn. They killed all the lettuce. They killed all the carrots. They, just ate them. Or so this year, gopher mounds outside of the boxes. None. Look at that. This one looks fresh from today. Doesn't matter to me. Outside the box. I also wanted to show how crazy tall, or how big, these sunflowers have gotten. Look at this. I mean, that's like, I can barely touch my fingers gripping around that. They've gotten huge. I mean, I'm 5'9", and this is a good 2 feet over me. That one's probably 10 foot tall, and it hasn't even opened up yet. Everything's going really good this year. So the watering system we have, I'll show you guys a watering system. It's our complex redneck watering system here. So we got this cool little timer. And right now it's there's an error on the right side. But cool little timer, and we have it programmed how often we want to go, and we can change it if we don't want to water everything every day. What we have, let me get to a spot where it's not so crazy with plants. At every spot along the line, we installed a little valve. This is just a little simple twist on and off valve. So if you don't want to water the, zucchinis every day or the corn every day, something's getting too wet, but you still need to keep something else moist, we can kind of pick and choose which ones we want to water. These, first time we've ever grown these, look at this, guys. If you can tell what this is, that's gonna be a tomatillo. So I can make some of my famous green salsa. Got some beautiful kale. And what was that? Oh, that was spinach. Spinach grew. We picked most of it off and it's done. Got to plant some more. Corn is just about getting ready. There's a few that are decent sized on here already, and last year we had so much trouble with bugs. This year I'm doing a bug spray around the perimeter of the garden, on the inside, so that none of the animals get to it. And you can see that before I got the bug spray out here, I mean, stuff was just getting eaten up. I got the bug spray, and it's this stuff I get on Amazon. I don't remember who told me about it or how I found it. Actually, I do. Shout out to Phil and Annie up in Ramona, California. They turned me on to, it's called Talstar Pro. Talstar Pro, it's like $45 or $39 for a gallon or a gallon and a half. So it's not cheap, but you mix it to like, 20 to 1, like 2 tablespoons or something like that for 2 gallons of water. And so it works really good. I've tested it around our property on, we get red ants. They're not, we get fire ants, the little fire ants, and then we get like the big, I don't know what they're actually called, but this is just like a big red ant. And we get those, and those bite the kids and sting them, and tested on some real big piles, and man, sprayed on them, doesn't kill them instantly. I guess what it does is it makes them unable to retain water, so they essentially like become so dehydrated that they die, from what I remember reading about it a couple years ago when we first bought it. I've just about gone through my entire 1.5 gallon bottle, and I think close to 2.5, or maybe even closer to 3 years since we bought the house or planted our first garden out here. So this is the little carrot patch here, and some of this dirt we got from around the property, and then we mixed in some nice topsoil we bought from a place right down the road. You can see the carrots, and we planted a bunch of different colored ones, so it's like that variety color pack. So some of them are orange, some of them are, let me see if I can spy like a purple one. Purple ones are pretty. Sometimes they turn out kind of like a rainbow purple. Let's see if I see any big ones. Hey, what's this? A weed? No weed, man. Yeah, anyway. So we got zucchini, squash, watermelon, all getting real big right now, just about starting to produce something edible for us. See one guy hiding in there, right there. But yeah, pretty soon we're gonna have so much zucchini and squash and everything else, we won't know what to do with it. And then another problem we had with watermelon and cantaloupe was bugs getting it, and the gophers would pop up from the ground and they'd, chew a little bite out of watermelon and it would go bad real quick. So hopefully this year we get some real good watermelons. And we, I guess when we planted, we missed the planter box a couple times with some seeds. So you got some onions growing up out of the ground. See anything in here? Oh yeah, a couple little guys. How you doing in there? Oh yeah. You know what's amazing to me is our kids. You try to get them to eat salad out of a bag and they won't touch it. Bring them out here and they literally just like rip off a piece of kale or a whole, bunch of it and just chomp on it. Just fresh, straight kale. And I'll eat a kale salad, but I won't eat straight fresh kale like that. So pretty good. And then you got basil, and the cilantro already picked it, flowered, and it's done. I think this was mainly just flowers for fun. We just wanted to put some color out here. Katie the wife likes to pick flowers, make little flower arrangements whenever we have someone over or we go to someone's house. What else we got? Both of these boxes, they were completely overrun with lettuce, and so much that we couldn't even eat it fast enough. You can see like growing out of the side of the box here. It's like a green leaf, curly leaf or something like that. Lettuce. Here's one coming out of the ground. But yeah, that's about it for this year. Is that? No, it's not. One plant that I haven't eradicated from our property yet is stinging nettle. It keeps popping up and I take it and I throw it over the neighbor's fence. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe not. Throw it over the neighbor's fence and hope that it's gone from us, but still keeps just popping up and popping up and popping up no matter what I do. So every line of water goes from the watering system, and then we have it branched off, and it branches off in 4 different sections, one for each row of planter boxes, and then a line going to each one so we can control each one individually. And what we have is we have them going on these little nozzles, and that's like a half fan on each side, so it sprays out. There we go. Sprays out like a half fan on each side, and we can adjust it up and down on the stake. If we want to, when the stuff gets a little bit taller like this over here, you can see we run it up a little bit higher on the stake, so it still is able to reach all the corners of the bed. And that's about it. If you guys have any recommendations or thoughts or suggestions about what you would like to see us plant, we got a couple here that we need to figure out something for. There's a nice little shot of Valley Center sunset to close out the video. Thanks for watching. Alright, same video, I just hit stop and I realized, why don't I show you guys what's going on with the animals? So here we go. I'm try to hold the camera steady as I walk. So we have somewhere around 100, who's counting, maybe a little less now. Chickens and ducks. Ducks are khaki Campbells. Chickens are they're like a red sex link. There's a couple ones that are a little bit older, like back right there where the tip of my finger is. I think that's a barred rock or something like that, the black and white one. But their watering system, so another redneck watering system here. We have basically just took like a line that goes into your fridge, or I think this one was from a toilet, because what we have inside here is a float valve for a toilet, and when it goes down, it fills itself up. It's shaded, so it gets a little bit less algae hopefully than it might otherwise. And then we have these little bump nipple waters for all the animals, and that's how ducks and chickens get their drinks. They really don't take long to catch on drinking that way. When we first got ducks, we went through a million different watering systems, and this was what we kind of did some research and figured out would work and create the least amount of mess. because what we were having is, you know, ducks love to play in water, and you give them an open source of water and they just jump in it and poop in it and, you know, try to wash off in it, and they just make it murky and yucky and stinky in, you know, a day or two. So to combat that, like, we used to have this tub in here and we would fill it out with water and let them splash around, and it would just turn murky and nasty and stinky almost, you know, in one day. So with this, we have a nice, you know, 3/4 inch sheet of plywood down there on the ground with drainage on both sides. And no matter how much water they spill out of there when they're trying to drink, it's never enough to make a big mess. And I have kind of a, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a French drain. So it's just, I dug a deep trench, it goes down and it goes out under the fence over there, filled it with gravel, put a little bit of dirt on top in some spots, but so everything just absorbs in and makes it real easy. We got goats over here, Nigerian dwarf goats. The two bigger ones are teeny and tiny. One going potty. And then they have 3 little kids, 2 girls and 1 boy. They're like, 2.5 months old now. We were trying to sell them, but I don't know. We grown a little bit attached to them and we like them. So they're pretty cute. Only one of them had horns because they have one of the moms, I don't remember which one is, has like the genetic, you know, it skips my mind at the moment what it's called when they genetically don't have horns, but just been bred over the years or into them with it. And so when they have kids, it's a 50-50 chance that the kids will have horns. And you know, most people nowadays don't want goats with horns because then you run the chance of them being able to buck your own kids, human kids. Or, you know, for us, the main concern, not so much them hurting our kids, because, you know, they'll run away faster than our kids will run at them, was them getting stuck in a fence or getting, you know, stuck in their pen here. And then, you know, being in distress and not being able to get unstuck with their horns. So that's why we will continue to disbud our goats whenever they have horn buds growing when they're little tiny baby kids. This is like our segregation pen for when a mom is in labor, or right when they have kids. Maybe we'll separate the other mom and if she's starting to act up a little bit. Go inside here, show you guys the chicken coop setup. I haven't cleaned it in a little bit, so don't judge me on my cleanliness. Let me shut this so they don't get out. Oh. If I had a third hand, you'd be able to see we just have just a bungee cord that holds that gate shut when you want to still be able to get out. So this was a horse stable, and then when we bought the place, we decided to go crazy with chickens and ducks, and so we turned it from horse stable into a chicken and duck house. And they come in here, they lay all their eggs in here, we collect them every day. I sell them to a guy who resells them at like a farmer's market type of deal. Here's their roosting area. Got a couple that like to be the top chicken up there. We don't have any roosters. And I think we only have 1 male duck left. So we've collected all the eggs and everything already today. Looks like I need to come out here, clean the coop a little bit, put some fresh pine shavings in there. We have 2 different feeders. This one is for, you know, mass amounts of birds at the same time so they can eat. And then this one is just for little snacks throughout the day. They step on it, and just from them stepping on it, the weight of the bird, that opens up and lets them eat, and it keeps out mice and any other critters that might be wanting to get in here. So chickens stay pretty healthy. I dust the areas that they do their dusting baths around the property, I dust with some DE. Hopefully I say it right. Katie always tells me I'm saying it wrong. Diatomaceous, I think it is. Diatomaceous earth. I throw a little bit of that powder onto their where they do their dust baths, and it helps keep them mite free. There's a certain mite that chickens just seem to get if you don't prevent it out here. We had a big problem with it when we first got chickens, or when we bought the house that came with chickens, and all the chickens, man, they were just nasty. They get these mites, and you pick up a chicken and got my head with the bungee cord. Pick up a chicken and it's just like crawling with them, and they get anemic from it, and then they stop laying eggs and they're all sick. So we figured that one out real quick, and talked to some people who have been raising, you know, thousands of chickens down the street, and they told us about DE, putting that a little bit, you know, every couple months into the where they take their dust bath, and keeps them healthy. Some people don't agree with it because they say it can be a irritant for them, and it is a mild irritant for, like, if I were to breathe it in, it's a mild irritant in my lungs. This is more or less our compost pile for chicken, duck, goat poop. We put it out here. We just recently took off. Usually we have fencing we put on top of it so that the chickens and ducks, mainly the chickens, they like to jump up there and spread it. Otherwise it'd be a nice big pile, and then we'll wet it down so that it gets nice and moist and hot. But yeah, that's about that. I don't think I'm gonna catch this guy out here. He usually doesn't stay out past 6 p.m. Ooh, look at this. See, I missed a couple without getting too close to my feet. These are the red ants I'm talking about that we get. And these little guys, while, you know, their bite only stings for an hour or two, or maybe even less, not that fun to get bit. And I'll have to come out here with some of that Talstar Pro I was talking about, and I'll literally just do a light spray on it, and the next day they're all gone. All you see is little tiny red ant bodies. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna catch a turtle, so we got I think it's an African desert tortoise or something like that. I don't know, my wife got it from one of her girlfriends who said they needed to find a home for it. And we got him, and boy, you can't even see this, but it's crazy how deep of a hole he dug. We put him in the backyard, and I had told Katie, I said, there's no way he's gonna be gone in a week, you know, because none of our fences are really that secure. It's just chicken wire and stuff put up so that not too much comes in or out. But this guy, he said, oh, I like the shade under the little wood pile here, and he dug a hole. All this dirt out here is from him pushing it out, and his hole is so deep that I can't even see the end of it. It kind of goes down and wraps around to the right and then bends back to the left. I've shined a flashlight in there and it's almost, can't even see it. Once in a while you can see part of the turtle shell sticking up, but that's that. Mulberry trees are doing real good this year. And I think it's time to go inside, read some stories to the kids, put them to bed, say our prayers, and everyone have a good night again. Thanks for watching. Oh, I said thanks for watching, but you know what? I just thought about, while I'm walking over here, we have Arlo Pro, I think it's called Arlo Pro wireless cameras that we use for security. This one's not for security, but have a couple around the house and by the gate area, so I can see everyone who's driving up, and if any kids are running out of the gate during the day. But I put this one out here because it has actually really good night vision, and turn it on for motion detection and come out, and it sends me an alert. And if there's a rabbit out here, running around trying to find its way in to our garden, come out here and chase it off or shoot it with a pellet gun or whatever needs to happen. But these things work great. So this one, look at this, completely wireless. It has a magnetic back, and it comes with little things that you can use to mount it. But this works perfect because, metal shed, and the base station all the way inside our house over there between, two walls, and it reaches out here perfect. Get high definition video with live feeds, motion detection, audio detection. It records up to 3 minutes at a time on its own. And like the one we have by our front gate, it senses everyone driving in, driving out, kids, dogs, what have you, all times of day and night. Our neighbor coming home from work, he must work graveyards because every day I get an alert for him at about 3:45 a.m. Wish I could turn that off, but I don't know how to turn that off where it's just like a certain time of day. I think there's some sort of setting, but oh well. Gets me up in the morning. There's a dog. Lady. Little doggy there. But the one at the front gate, and it records video every day, maybe about, I'd say real slow day, like today, Sunday, maybe 10, anywhere from 10 seconds all the way up to 3 minutes if it keeps sensing motion out there. And on real busy days when you have 5 trash trucks coming in and neighbors and kids and dogs and stuff, it might record 50 videos. And I've had it out here and it only ran out of batteries, or it sent me an alert for 15% battery just a couple days ago, so I swapped out the battery on it. But my phone's gonna make a noise and vibrate as soon as I get close or walk by. Or maybe it won't because I'm taking a video. But yeah, that's where that one is. It lasted over a month being 100% live alerts 24/7 over a month taking video. And Arlo Pro keeps it for 7 days of video stored on there, as much as it records, for free. No subscription, no nothing. The system's not cheap. I think it was like $300 for the base station, plus I don't remember if we got it with 2 or 3 cameras, but then we added a couple more. There's the father-in-law, Steve. There's another one. This is my favorite one right here. I wired it in so it never runs out of batteries, but it gives me a real cool shot of the kids playing all day long. So there you go. Valley Center sunset. It's beautiful. Now have a good night for the last time.